Yeah, I'm not feeling this.
It doesn't look professional.
No, they're gonna leave now. We're leaving.
Hold on.
Yeah,
No,
you ready?
You're done, Michelle. Now you can stay, baby, and
Yeah.
the operator don't know you.
Why is she?
All right.
Why is she barking
You're
around?
traumatizing them.
Goodbye.
Traumatizing them.
So Google me. My name's Jasmine Abdullah.
Hey friends, welcome back once again. Look and Live. Pastor James is here. So now we're going to continue where we left off with Jessie Lee Peterson talking about, Black Lives Matter, racism, and Michelle and that young man who's doing an excellent job talking and expressing their view. It gets better from this point forward. So before we do that, make sure you like and subscribe to the page, click the bell icon for more of our notification uploads. So how about we move on now to part 2 of the discussion. But this complaining has to stop, because you ought to be grateful to be here. I don't think there's another country in the world that is best suited for black folks to live in than these United States of America. But we complain as if this is the worst of the worst. And I will send you to black countries. Black nations right now, and you will experience racism in ways you never thought was possible. Like real racism, like stuff that you are not ready to even behold with your eyes, because it's happening in all over the place. And you think America is so racist? I will say you need to think again. This is not the most racist country in the world, at least not at this stage of the world. Of course not.
Blaming others for the failure of their parents and their lives. Blaming others for whatever it is you complain about. What is it exactly do you want from white people?
What do you want? Answer the question. What do you want?
I'm trying to find out what you want.
What's your nationality?
What does that
Are you
have?
white?
A black American. What do you want?
You Caucasian.
Oh, you do? And why do you think that? Why do you think that?
Because you seem to separate yourself from us, should I say?
Yeah, because he doesn't believe what you believe. He doesn't see himself as a victim. He doesn't feel like complaining. He doesn't feel like the white person is out to get him, because he chooses to be free. He chooses to love anyone, and he chooses to ignore maybe those who are really racist and trying to live in the most peaceable and in a way to make a living in this country. Is this wrong for a black man to feel that way? That means he must be the face of white supremacists, as they call Larry Elder. So is that really what we do now? So you can't, unless he takes on this victim mentality like you do, therefore he's not one of us. What kind of nonsense is that?
In
Put
what
us on
way?
the other side
In what
of the
way?
fence. In the ways that you specified thus far.
Meaning what? Tell me, give me an example and tell me what you mean.
How you mean? What do you people want from white people? Meaning that I'm not with you.
Oh, okay, I
It's
got it.
just y'all by yourself,
Let
right?
me explain why I do that. What you don't know is that there are two realities in life. One is that of good and one is that of evil. And now that I've been able to overcome evil, I don't identify with angry, evil black people. I identify with other blacks and others who are on the side of good. And so that's why I say you people, because I have to divide myself or separate myself from evil and go along with good. So that's why I do.
That's a good statement he made here. I'm not sure exactly how he says I overcome evil. I don't know how that happens, and I know the only way we can overcome evil is with the power of God, faith in Christ, of course. But I know what he's trying to say. There is this spiritual warfare between good and evil, and I choose to be on the side of good, and that is a personal decision that every person has to make. So I think choosing to complain and backbite, whine and pine does not fix our situation at all. I think it makes matters worse. So I think that's kind of what he's alluding to here. Yeah.
Do that.
What is it that makes us evil?
I'm sorry, your anger, your blaming others for your problems, your lack of love and respect for yourself and others.
Okay. Well, that's another reason why I wanted to come on the show, because that has been a misrepresentation, right? We're not angry. We're not pointing the finger.
But you're blaming white people for your
That's a contradiction. Let me give you a simple recipe. Okay? Listen to this. If your enemy is hungry, feed him. If he is thirsty, give him drink. If you do this, you will pile burning coals on his head. Do not be conquered by evil, but conquer evil with good. Yeah, man. So instead of you using evil methods to conquer evil, instead of fighting your enemies with these weapons, the Christian method is to actually bless your enemy. It's actually to show them love. It's actually to overcome evil with good. Now, you have to understand, I'm not speaking from the context of warfare and self-defense here. We're talking about a person that we know might not like you very much. The best way to deal with them is to show them love. And honestly, that just gets the job done. And it works, my dear friends. And that's Christ's method for you. Let's keep going.
downfall.
No, we're not blaming white people for our downfall. Basically, we're just saying when the so-called Emancipation Proclamation was passed, a certain system was also set in place to make sure black people didn't make it that far.
What do you want?
What? So she's talking about systematic racism, obviously. And that's been debunked. Oh my goodness, that's been debunked so well already. So the Emancipation Proclamation, the so-called, that's one of the greatest thing ever done for blacks. It's the best thing ever done by Abraham Lincoln. I think we should be a lot more grateful than this.
I want race to be taken off applications. Why? What does that have to do with anything? I want to stop
agree with
seeing
that.
So race need to be taken off of applications. Okay. I mean, I think that's okay. That makes sense. Stop calling us African American. I'll take that too, because we're not from Africa. Some people were born here. Like, just call us blacks, black Americans. That's okay. Instead of black African Americans. I don't know where that comes from. What is it, Jesse James who started this? Anyway, let's keep going.
Fellow young people being gunned down in the streets for carrying a can of tea and a bottle of Skittles, walking home. I want police to stop using illegal chokeholds to take people down and then completely getting off of it. I want our politicians and our elected officials to see the people that march in these streets across this nation that's saying.
But these young people, whoever is maybe referring to, some of this stuff has happened to blacks. But they have happened to a lot of other races as well. And I think for us to take on this idea that cops are out to kill us because we are black is not right. Because when it's happened to the Asian, you don't hear anything.
I can't cough.
You keep coughing?
I can't cough.
You can't cough? You need some water. Come here. I need you to go to sleep, buddy. I can't. You have school tomorrow. Over here. Okay. Go ahead, baby. Go lay down. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Yeah, so I mean, we can ask for a lot of different things, but I think, well, honestly, we need to deal with ourselves more than anything, because our problems has a lot to do with us than with anybody else or any system in the world. It's a fact.
Wait, no, this is wrong. I want people to do their jobs. I want to walk down the street and know that I'm safe.
You've been brainwashed.
You've been brainwashed.
It's not that we want something from white people, right?
What do you want?
We want to see, first of all, this fact is, yes, in LA, right? Yes, in Chicago, that if you're black, you basically will be persecuted.
Who are you referring to?
I'm referring to anyone. everyone who looks down upon black people, right? Who feels that if you have darker skin that you have a lower
Have
status.
you been discriminated against?
Yes.
By whom?
By who?
By white people.
What did they do to you? Tell me what happened to you.
They told me that I needed to wear my hair a certain way in order to be groomed.
Who told you that?
All right, a supervisor.
At your job?
Yeah, at a previous job.
At a what?
So that's her definition of racism? That is so weak. That is so weak. I
A previous job, I don't work there.
So you were working at this company, and you went in, you applied for the job, and you, at the time that you were applying for the job, you told them, if you pay me X amount of dollars, I would come every day, and I would follow your rules, and you took the job, right? Is that right?
Yes.
I'm sorry?
Yes.
They can't hear you.
Yes.
They can't hear you, Michelle. Come on. So when you agreed to do that job and follow their standards, their rules, you didn't mean it?
Yes, I.
the building, the roof is on fire. The bottom of the foundation has fallen. Wow. It is that simple. It's that simple. It's that simple.
I did, but culture is
You didn't
everybody
mean it?
has different culture.
So you meant to follow their rules. Did you know about the hair deal before taking the job?
No, they said, right?
They said what?
Groomed means you got up and you did your hair, you did your face. You're aware of your whole appearance, right?
Right. And so you went in there with what, an afro or something?
Something similar.
What you go in there with?
With a ponytail with the afro and a little bang in the front.
And they
pretty
said,
nice.
no, you can't wear that hairstyle.
They said it's just not it doesn't look professional, and they just made a recommendation, but they didn't say, oh, our rules prohibit you, but they said, oh, look, I just want to make a nice recommendation.
Right. And did they have a right to make that recommendation?
No, they didn't have a right.
Did they own the company?
No, they did not own the company.
Who owned the company?
The owner wasn't, nobody owned the company.
Somebody have to own the company.
Nobody, it wasn't
She's playing around now.
the company.
These people can't communicate. These are the wrong folks up here.
Oh, wow.
I'm not getting the real answers or anything.
I think you've
Where'd you
gotten
get
some
these
very
people
clear.
from?
Excuse me, sir.
You
Can
guys
you
are
not
not
offend
even
my-
communicating. I thought this was going to be like
Can you not offend my intelligence while I'm sitting right in front of you? You asked me for clear answers. I gave you clear answers.
I thought this
you
was gonna-
choose to have
But
a
you guys are
discussion
not
with
even
the system
discussing.
because
I'm trying to get some understanding to what is wrong and what we can do about the problem. But you guys won't really
Okay, I can tell you,
communicate
you're
and
focusing-
telling me.
You're focusing on problem, but you're not
I'm trying
focusing
to-
on the solution,
I'm trying-
right?
and we'll get to
And
that.
you want to know what the solution would be?
No, we need to find out what is the problem. Have you been discriminated against? Who discriminated against you, and why?
I've been discriminated
Well,
against. I've been
it
told
was the
that I had to
policy
get a
that
haircut.
allowed the recommendation to even come in. So it's policies that are created that people have to go by that perpetrate discrimination.
Was this with a private business that you were working for? at
No,
the
it was
time?
not the
Was it a
private
government business?
Yes, it was.
And so the government rules are you can wear your hair any kind of way you want to?
As long as it's decent.
And so did your supervisor approach you about your hair once you got this job?
Be more specific in your
You said
question.
you got this job, and did you quit the job or you got fired?
I quit.
You quit, and you quit because of they recommend a different hairstyle.
No, that's not the reason why I quit.
Why'd you quit?
Because I felt that I wanted more fulfilling work.
So where's the racism?
It's over. She doesn't have a case here to complain about racism. This girl is talking about racism and has not even experienced racism in the very least. And I'm not saying racism doesn't exist. It does. It exists among all people, among all cultures. I'm going to be honest with you. I'm Haitian. There are racists in Haiti, okay? Yeah, so we have bigger problems, and I think we are complaining about things that are not really that big of a problem in this country. they don't have an argument here. They don't have an argument for racism. You know, you can't use your ancestors' suffering in this case. You are free. You're in America. You can do just as fine if you are willing. You are not in bondage. Nobody's trying to stop you. Now, there may be some systems you can argue with. There may be some, some things in the world that I can say, I don't like this and I don't like that. I can say this about a lot of other things. But to say this country is racist, they ought to get me, you gotta stop doing this. That's how you don't move forward as a person. That's how you don't progress. That's how you don't get where you need to be. While a lot of blacks are complaining, many blacks like myself, many blacks like that are coming from, many immigrants that are blacks, they come to the United States and they're doing fine. They're doing fine. They're starting businesses, they get their educations, and they are making things happen. And many blacks that are in the United States are complaining. It's disturbing.
In that, you quit because you were not fulfilled. You said that was an example of you being discriminated against.
Right, but
now
that's just something that black people on a daily basis we have to work through.
So
I had to work through that, right?
So
I had to conform to that.
So was
but
it racism or you wanted to be fulfilled?
It was an instance on the job. It wasn't the final conclusion on the job.
So you quit because you wanted to be fulfilled, not because of discrimination about your hair.
There we go.
But you just said that was
a problem.
But it had nothing to do with racism. You was not fulfilled. Why did you try to make that into racism?
There you go.
It's discrimination that we face, that all black people face on a daily basis, that we have to work through because it's like, okay, hey, am I going to tell them?
I can tell you of white people who had to cut their hair. I can tell you of people that I've worked with who had to remove their earrings just so that they could do their job. So I've seen many times where people needed to make whatever changes necessary so that you can get the job and do the things that you're supposed to be doing. Follow the rules. Even in church, we have rules, There are some things that we expect from members to do. To be part of the Christian faith doesn't necessarily mean you can have your hair this way or that way, but each place, different stroke for different folks. People have rules wherever it fits best for them, and you have to conform to that. And you could call that racism. It's a weak argument, girl. It's a weak argument, and you're very intelligent. I don't know why you're doing this. Very beautiful, very intelligent, very smart. But you're talking silly.
Fuck you, I'm going to wear my hair the way I want to, or am I going to work this out to the next week and make sure that I can get a check?
You have not given me an example of you being discriminated against. I asked for an example.
Not valid enough for
Both of you are running around crying racism.
I'm not crying racism.
You haven't given me an example.
Hold on.
I didn't say racism, I said discrimination.
You haven't given me an example you're being discriminated against.
Okay.
Have you been discriminated against?
Yes, I have been discriminated
and
against.
Who discriminated against you?
An employer discriminated against me. They asked me to cut my hair.
Was it a white man or a white person?
This was a Caucasian female.
Okay, and so, private job?
No, this is a public sector job.
Okay, so you filled out the application.
I filled out the application.
And you said on the app that I will follow the rules if you pay me.
So these people are complaining about racism. Their only mean of argument has something to do with their hair. Their hair. They're not saying somebody called me the N-word. They're not saying I was mistreated. They're not saying I was fired because I have the color of my skin. They're not saying any serious, like I didn't get accepted because I'm black. None of that. They're saying my hair. Like, really? Like, that's racism to you? Come on now, friends. Come on. You got to be better than this.
That's amount of dollars.
Yes.
And did you have the afro at the time?
Yes, I have my afro at the time.
And they still hired you?
And they hired me.
And so you went in and they said what to you? This is a white female boss, right?
Yes.
Okay. And this is a government job.
Great job.
And so you go into the office, she called you in.
Yes.
And she says what to you about your hair?
She told me that I had to cut my hair, that my hair had gotten too long and looked unmanaged.
Oh, okay. And what's wrong with that?
A lot is wrong with that.
Why? Why don't you want to look? I wouldn't hire you with the hair looking like that.
Why?
It's not. It doesn't look.
That's my natural hair texture.
It doesn't look professional.
Yeah, I'm not feeling this.
It doesn't look professional.
No, they're gonna leave now. We're leaving.
Hold on.
Yeah, no, you ready?
You're done, Michelle. Now you can stay, baby, and
Yeah.
I really don't know
I'll
you.
stay.
Why is she?
All right.
Why is she bossing you
You
around?
traumatizing them.
Goodbye.
Traumatizing them.
Google me. My name's Jasmine Abdullah. I just sat here.
Are you her boss or something?
No, it's about black
Why are you-
love.
why are you
It's about
pushing her
love, and
around?
You see how they're doing this because you're hurting them.
Why are you
You're
pushing them
hurting
around?
them, and you know they don't know what to say. You're
You're
eating them up
boxing.
right now.
You're boxing
No,
everything in. This is not an open
Why you-
discussion
And
at
that's just
all.
hurtful. I love you. I'm not angry with you. I love you.
No, he's not boxing them. What he's doing is helping them to realize that they are wrong in their thinking about racism. He's helping them to think differently. That's a tough one. If you are a parent or something, I can understand. If you have a son or daughter, you don't want to see them going through this. But this might be the best thing that ever happened to them because they need to change their mentality. In order for them to rise, they have to come out of this. I mean, I wouldn't do it the way Peterson did it, but that's his method. Respect that.
Open
Why you-
discussion at all.
I love you. I'm not angry with you. I love you and I feel sorry for you. I feel really bad for you. I love you. You got a lot of self-hate.
Stop pushing her around.
And it radiates
Brother, you got a
and
lot
comes
of
out on
self-hate.
others.
Don't let that lady push you around.
No lady
It's
is
not
pushing
a-
me
no.
around because I feel more
It's
attacked
about
coming from
love.
you, right?
Yeah.
He stayed there as
I
an
feel
eagle.
attacked
He stayed
by
there because he's a
you,
man. No, you
but
can't
I
punk me.
fight.
You do.
I stand
No,
in
no,
my
they
Okay,
said,
all right.
I don't know where they came from.
We agreed to have an open conversation, not to be boxed into particular.
Is this a strong woman running right now?
Well, actually, I think that's probably the best thing for her.
Is that a strong woman leaving?
Honestly, I think that was the best decision for her to make. I think it was the best decision for her to make because she is younger than I.
I'm sorry.
She is younger than I.
Anyway, I appreciate you coming, Andre Shirley.
Hopefully this inspired some black youth to actually get up and let their voices be heard. Apparently society will not understand if we don't just
All right,
come and
thank
tell
you, buddy.
them. Thank you.
Give me a handshake there. Thank you.
No
Appreciate
problem,
you coming. All right, thank you.
Wow. This was good. I think this one was long enough. I think we can end it right here. I want to hear your thoughts and comment below. That discussion got heated, but wow. You know, we need help as a people, right? I think we need help as a people. Unfortunately, this young lady, for as smart as she was, Michelle, she just regurgitate the same victim mentality, and I can tell she's been indoctrinated to feel and think that way. There was a brainwash that took place, but in this country, friends, I don't care where you from, what the color of your skin is, you can make it here if you put in the work and you just get over your hurdles. For you, it might be different. I don't know what kind of struggles you're gonna have. It's not always racism. I'm not saying racism doesn't exist. It does. But to think that racism is your worst enemy, that's not really the case. We are our worst enemy. And if we can conquer me, if I can conquer myself, of course, by the power of God, nothing is impossible and we can stop. And I will say the issue with black people right now, their number one problem is not racism. I've said this before. I'm going to say it again. Our number one problem is immorality, and our second problem is ungratefulness. These are the two things that's killing us right now. We've welcomed and worshipped the ones that are destroying our communities, and the ones who are doing good, we don't follow their examples, and we complain about the system, and while we promote immorality as a culture. Okay, we can see it in our TVs, we can see it in our movies, we can see it in our musics, and that what we hear is immorality being promoted. And the second thing is we are ungrateful. We are ungrateful. We are told to hate America when really we are told to hate this country. We are told this country hates us. It's out there out to get us. That's really not the case. That's actually not the case at all. I'm not saying, I cannot speak for everyone. And of course, each person's experience is different. But I will tell you, your worst enemy is not America. Okay? Ungratefulness is another thing that you need to deal with, because we have so many reasons to be grateful. According to the Bible, Jesus says, be careful for nothing. Be careful for nothing. Don't worry about anything, but instead, in every situation, let your prayers be made known unto God through through prayers and requests with thanksgiving. You hear that? So what we are supposed to do is thanksgiving. Stop worrying so much. Just pray to the Lord and take on an attitude of gratitude. Let me tell you something. You go far in life. You go far in life when you learn to be grateful for the little things that you have. In this country, we have so many reasons to be thankful. I'm not saying everything is perfect here, but when I look at this country, friends, I'm like, man, we're going to be all right. We're going to be all right. God give us another 20 something years. I'll tell you something. I'm going to go far. I'm going places. I'm going places. God allows me to live another 10 to 15 years. I'm telling you, we're destined for greatness, and we're going to set our children up to be great as well. So, and this can only be done in this country here. And I am very thankful to live in this country. And you're not going to find me complaining about racism, because I live in a place where I barely ever experienced it. I don't even smell it. So doesn't mean it doesn't exist, but I'm like, I don't know. I don't see it anywhere. What I see is James need to make things happen here and go places, and you can do the same as well. So let's stop. Let's go forward. Please like and subscribe to the page. Click the bell icon for more of my notification upload. God bless you till next time. And as always, remember to look unto Jesus to live by faith. Have a good one. Bye.